Before I call Kim Leadbeater, it's to ask her first question. It's only fitting to note this is likely to be the final time the Right Honourable Member for Uxbridge addresses the House as Prime Minister. I would like to wish him and his family all the best for the future. Can I say, we've been through many dark times within this House, and none more so than through the pandemic, and always will be remembered for what this House did and the way that you conducted those duties during those dark times.
Get a fuck.
I understand that members will have differing views about the Prime Minister's performance and legacy.
Piss off. Don't eulogise him, he's a cunt. Hello, welcome to the last Boris Johnson PMQs of all time, ever in the history of the world. This is the last fucking one of that little fucking fart bag, mountain of mad flesh, the gibbering fucking lunatic, the absolute shitbag that is Boris Johnson. This is his final hour. This is his last chance to talk shite.
Question number 1, Mr.
Prime Minister.
Still not going to ask it.
The 40th.
I'm a twat. Hi, number 3. How you doing, mate? I've got to be a bit careful because my green screen is precariously held up. It might fall on my head at some point. Sorry, I'm talking over the Prime Minister, but I don't give a fuck because what he's talking is absolute shite as always. Because that's all he ever talks. Absolute fucking shite. So, let's have a go. Hello, we've got Pecolatori there. We've also got Yurosh, who says, good and cold day to you all. Hi, Yurosh. How you doing? Look at this. Look at this fucking cunt. Look at this fucking canker blossom. You're on your way out, mate. You're on your way out. You've kicked out by your own party. I can't even call you a one-term Prime Minister. You're a half-term Prime Minister. You are a half-term Prime Minister. Useless fucking cunt. Listen to him fucking rittering on. Don't give a shit. Let me know if you can see everything okay, if you can hear everything okay, if you can hear me, if he's not too quiet. I know I'm talking over him right now, but please, just chip in if you want to let me know how I can improve this, because obviously I'm filming it to you and producing it and talking to you and trying to watch it all at the same time. Right. Starmer actually said what you wanted and called bullshit. He is.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Summer recess gives all parliamentarians an opportunity to reflect on our inability to uphold the 7 principles of public life. Selflessness, openness, objectivity, honesty, integrity, accountability and leadership. These are
the sister of Joe Cox,
but public trust in politicians is at an all-time low. Will the Prime
just
Minister
before
be using the next few weeks to personally consider
referendum.
why this could be? And as the unedifying fight for his job continues, if those who are vying to replace him were to draw on his wise counsel, if those who are vying to replace him would draw on his wise counsel, and why wouldn't they? What advice would he give to ensure the people we serve receive far better than they have from this government?
Yeah!
Well, Mr.
Sorry,
Speaker, I'm
the table.
afraid I didn't quite catch the last bit of the...
I don't listen to women because I'm a cunt. I'm an absolute shite. I'm a lump of foul deformity. Yes, indeed. Fuck off, you blancmange, you're fucking evil. You syphilitic bag of custard. Go on, fuck off. Fuck off, and fuck off again. Keep fucking off until you can't fuck off anymore, and then fuck off some more! You can't! Canty, 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 canty. Fuckwit!
Russia's war in Ukraine continues. Now, Turkey have withdrawn its opposition to Sweden and Finland joining NATO.
NATO, which Boris Johnson undermines.
Does my right honourable friend
NATO went straight from a NATO party, NATO meeting to an orgy. Went to an orgy with KGB agents without his security detail. That's what this fucking cunt did. He shouldn't just not be Prime Minister. This cunt should be in fucking jail. He should be in fucking jail for what he's done. Fucking gobshite. International War Crimes Tribunal in the fucking Hague for this cunt.
Mr. Speaker, I'm proud of
Drop dead, Boris. If you get... I'll get banned off Twitter again if I call you what you are and where you should go. He's a cunt and he should go in the sea.
Can I start by saying...
Oh, Super Chat. Thank you very much, Super Chat there, Yovash.
I know that the relationship between a Prime Minister and Leader of the Opposition is never easy. And this one's proved no exception to the rule. But I would like to take this opportunity to wish him, his wife...
Call him a cunt. His wife, which one?
For the future.
No, fuck them all. Fuck them all.
Can I also put on record...
Channel the fucking... Channel 1789 in the house, come on.
All their courageous work yesterday in extreme temperatures. All our thoughts are with those affected by the fires, particularly those that have lost their homes.
Parquet full of brown stains.
I join the Prime Minister in his comments about the bombings in Hyde Park and the IRA.
Thanks so much for the Super Chat, Yovash. I hope BJ will remember as the PM that got the Conservative Party in with Brexit. Almost worth the price.
The coverage starts at 7:30 tonight on BBC
did
One.
them in with Brexit.
I'm sure the whole country will be roaring them on. And for anyone who doesn't
Chess 74,
football,
don't like him very much.
EastEnders is
what
on.
can I say?
So if you'd rather watch outrageous characters taking lumps out of it themselves, you've got a choice. Albert Square or the Tory leadership debates on catch-up. On that topic, Mr. Speaker,
Christian Farewell, put him in the tower.
Why does the Prime Minister think that those vying to replace him decided to pull out of the Sky debate last night?
Yeah, because they're cowards. Because they're cowards, like him. Like this little fuckwit. Hey, this little fucking blob. Fuck off.
Particularly closely, but
fucking boiled. Look like you fucking plague sore. You fucking bubo. Oh, fuck yourself, cunt.
And I think the public.
You don't know the public. You never met the public. You just hang out with all your posh fucking mates. Your posh tax avoiding mates. Fucking lining your pockets with Britain's cash. This camera here needs to be put in focus. Whoever works in Parliament, can you get this fucking camera in focus? Not this one. That shot there, looking at the Tory bastards. Then again, it's probably better that it's a little bit out of focus, because who wants to see those ugly cunts, eh?
And do you remember
what
he said?
Do you remember as the lowest form of conversation? Tony Soprano. Go on, fuck off.
Supported by every
fuck
single
off,
one of those
fuck off, fuck off,
and
fuck off, and fuck off, and fuck off, and fuck off. We've got the slowest, we're down at 0%, you mad cunt. Shut up, stop lying. The fastest recovery. Bullshit. The slowest recovery, you fucking knob. Oh, my horse got to the first fence. First. So it won the race. No, it didn't. Fell over the fucking fence. Doesn't matter if it got to the first one first. Didn't win the fucking race, you cunt. Fucking hell, this isn't hard. I up from France, says Charlie. Hiya, Charlie.
But I am interested in what he makes of the battle for his
Goodbye
job.
and good riddance,
Johnson. With a simple one. Does the
You
Prime Minister agree with his former
cunt.
Chancellor that plans put forward by the other candidates are, in his words, I've got them here, nothing more than the fantasy economics of unfunded spending promises?
Use his own fucking words against him. You fucking ratbag. Because what? Are you going to answer the question? Are you going to attack? Attack mode. Oh, I can't wait for Liz Truss to be Prime Minister. I can't wait to watch her just collapse every question time. Every time she asks a question, she doesn't know how to respond. Oh, thanks, Richard. That really helps. Thank you, Richard. Richard, you are an absolute fucking legend. Sorry for talking over Boris Johnson. I'm not sorry for talking over Boris Johnson, because he's a cunt. And the only good thing about him is the fact he's leaving. And yeah, obviously the fact that, because he's mortal, one day he will die.
A 50-year low, Mr. Speaker. When they left office, it was at 8%.
Not saying I want him to die, I'm just saying he will. It's mortality for you.
Mr. Speaker,
it's a done deal.
Wage made under my leadership is fully costed. Those vying to protect him, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, Duke Vengeance. London was on fire yesterday, and that twat missed 3 Crowborough meetings on the high temperatures. Yes, to organise a party and to attend the party at Chequers, which is a country estate that you pay for because you're a British taxpayer. If you're a British taxpayer.
What about his foreign secretary? She was withering about the government's economic record.
She looks like she's withering.
She said, again, her words. Here they are.
Like drinking from the wrong cup in Indiana Jones.
Great plan for growth. Why haven't we seen it in the last 2.5 years at the Treasury?
I love this. He's just pulling out what his own MPs have said. Oh, look at the face on fucking Patel.
Agree that what you saw in the last 2.5 years was because of the pandemic.
Oh, because of the pandemic! Not because of bad governance by these bunch of fucking clowns, out of touch, upper class fucking lunatics.
Magnificently.
Look at the fucking tax avoider. You see the tax avoider there? Sitting next to him like a cunt. Fucking Zavari, just fucking nodding away. Yeah, look, who's this? Who's this fella? Who's this fella sitting next to Boris Johnson here? Fucking yes man, I bet he's got his hand on his arse. Oh, Boris. Oh, Boris. Oh. Temperatures in Durham are pretty moderate though, not so much in London. No coincidence there, and exactly mirroring politics. Well, yeah, it was honestly down here in the basement of my house, which is quarried out of rock. The basement is quarried out of rock. It was 18.5 yesterday. I had a little thermometer down here. No aircon. Windows closed.
Mr. Speaker, inflation
no fan.
Is up again this morning, and millions are struggling with the
Victorians
cost of living
knew how to build
crisis.
shit.
And he's decided to come down from his gold wallpapered bunker for one last time to tell us.
Oh, thanks very much, Joe, for the money to Ukraine. We're hoping to do another trip in August. I won't be able to do it, but there's a guy called Mike who lives in Newcastle. His wife is Ukrainian, and he'll be taking a vehicle over in August, but we need to raise enough money for him to be able to do so. But we will be doing that, so I'll put that towards it. Thank you so much.
She said, again, her words, our public services are in a desperate state.
Because of Boris Johnson and his shit government?
Because it clearly isn't working.
Yeah.
Has the Prime Minister told her?
Why does Dominic Raab look like a generic villain from Beverly Hills Cop?
12 years.
Doesn't he? Generic 80s villain.
Mr. Speaker, this is absolutely.
We're not so different, you and I.
Completely satirical. This is the
Eddie Murphy, like, what? What are you talking about?
I'm black. £650 billion in infrastructure, in skills, in technology. He talks about public services.
Yeah, no, we're talking about what your party have said about your record for your government, which is a load of fucking shite. Vaccination. And you should be talking about that and the fact that I was amazing and I go on. Go on. £37 billion, which is spent on a track and trace system that doesn't fucking work. Fucking cunt, lying in your pocket with the nation's cash. Fucking lying in your pocket, stuffing your fucking suit with the nation's cash. That's not fat, by the way, it's all fucking money. Just stuffs it into his shirt.
If only it was satirical. It's what the future candidates think of his. Mr. Speaker.
We want to get through PMQs because there's quite a few of you.
Always shouting towards he's always shouting at the Tories. Have you noticed that?
I appreciate they may not want to hear what their future leader thinks of their record in government, but I think the country needs to know. If only it were satirical, Prime Minister. It's what the candidates
get him about
think
missing the Cobra meetings, Starmer.
But among the mudslinging, there was one very important point, because the member for Saffron Walden claimed that she warned the former Chancellor that he was handing taxpayer money directly to fraudsters in COVID loans.
Yep.
She says he dismissed her worries and that as a result he cost the taxpayer £17 billion.
Wow. These are quick checks. Would have taken 15 minutes to do.
She's telling the truth.
Prime Minister. Okay, well, this is one of the last blasts from Captain Hindsight, Mr. Speaker. Because,
what? No, it would take 15 minutes to do. He was warned before. Before he did it, he was warned by another member of his party that they needed to put checks in before they gave out checks for £50,000 to anyone who asked for them.
Agent to supply a theatrical costumier to supply PPE.
What?
Do you remember, Mr. Speaker? We had to get that stuff at record speed.
Record speed.
£408 billion worth of support,
which you failed to do, and you failed to protect our health workers for the first few months of the pandemic, and you failed to protect elderly people in care. 200,000 people have died under this cunt! Under this fucking vile sack of venom. 200,000 people in this country have died because of this cunt, Boris Johnson. And he's like, oh, look what an amazing record I have. Thank you very much, Kit, for the super chat. Thank you.
The Foreign Secretary says we can't
200,000 people. 200,000 people.
31,000
31,000 people have died in Japan, with a population twice ours, with a higher population density.
Saffron Walden probably puts it best when she simply asked,
Penny
why should
Walden's.
the public trust us? We haven't exactly covered ourselves in glory.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look, he's got his head in his hands. Look. Oh, super sticker. Thanks very much for the super sticker, Kit. Number one fan. Thanks, Kit. Phil Spicer, is just me or is Johnson looking coked up? He's totally coked up. He's always on drugs and alcohol usually.
Or their record in government.
He doesn't know what's fucking going on. I'm determined to put him in. So am I, number 3. So am I, Richard. We've got to take him down. Got to put this fucker in jail. Get in fucking jail. Get in jail. Shut up and get in jail. What? Policy? They're not in power, you twat! They're not in power, you immense, gargantuan gobshite. We got Brexit done. Why are you still negotiating then, you cunt?
In spite of everything, he would have kept, and when he would have kept us in lockdown.
Worst inflation, worst economy of the G7. In fact, of any advanced nation in the world.
In the face of strikes, to outlaw wildcat strikes.
Fuck you fucking cunt.
I can tell you, to outlaw wildcat strikes. I can tell you why. I can tell you why he does that funny.
Oh, thanks very much, Peculatori. Buy some ice cream for the family. Thank you so much.
Because, Mr. Speaker, he's got the union barons pulling his strings.
The union barons? What the fuck are you on about, you mad fucking twat? They didn't even go out on the picket lines. Well, they were told not to. They were shadow ministers, not go out on the picket lines for the RMT union, which hasn't been part of Labour or affiliated with Labour since 2003, I think. Best part of 20 years. Whatever, mate. Whatever. This is a ticker to you, mate. That's all right, man. Thanks very much, Kit. Thanks. No worries. Revolution stroke riots on the way. I hope so. I fucking hope so.
In September, it will be 25 years since the 25th anniversary of the referendum on devolution in both Scotland and Wales. 1 in 20 people in England and the NHS have been waiting
Rob Roberts.
for more than a year.
Was this a sex offender?
Wales,
or one of the sex offenders? Wasn't he kicked out? Wasn't he kicked out the Tories? Was he kicked out the Tories? Someone look it up quick because I can't Google while I'm here.
Regardless of building any others. In his final opportunity at the dispatch box, will the Prime Minister and the Minister for the Union agree that in terms of Wales at least, devolution has been a disaster?
Prime Minister, I
want
devolution to work.
Devolution's been a disaster.
I had some good conversations with Mark Drayford, but the devolved authorities, particularly Labour in Wales, need to do their job properly.
Now comes the leader of the SNP, Ian Blackford.
Robert sent sexually suggestive text message to a female staff member. Jesus Christ.
He's been a friend.
Acted inappropriate had to resort to engage in a relationship with a male member of staff. Why is he still an MP? Fucking sex pest MPs. Rob Robinson. He gets asked the fucking Prime Minister a question. Unbelievable. So, let's hear what the criminals think. Let's hear from the nonsense wing, eh? Fucking hell. Ashworth fucking Mental Security Hospital. Let's hear what the nonsense there have to say.
His Tory Brexit slashed £31 billion from the economy. The biggest fall in living standards since the 1970s. People's pay in real terms falling at the fastest rate on record, with the worst economic growth forecast in the G20 outside Russia, and the highest inflation in 40 years. Personally, I'd like to thank the Prime Minister in his capacity as Minister of the Union for driving support for independence to new heights.
Yep.
Mr. Speaker, Westminster is holding Scotland back. The economy is failing and this Prime Minister has driven us to the brink of a recession. Isn't it the case that the Prime Minister's legacy of catastrophic mismanagement has paved the way for the end of the Union?
Yeah. I think it's stronger than ever, actually. I think it's stronger than ever.
Records I'll point to the fastest vaccine rollout in Europe. There's unemployment.
You wasn't the fastest! It got to the first fence faster than the other horses, but it didn't win the fucking race. Stop lying! Stop standing up and lying! Oh, do you know what? After today, we won't have to hear this cunt stand up and fucking lying day in, day out in Parliament. How refreshing is that going to be? Well, some other cunt fucking lying, but at least they might not be quite as fucking cunty as this fucking cunt shaft over here. I don't know how you make a cunt shaft, kind of like, it's a bit of an oxymoron, but you know.
I mean, the Prime Minister might believe that nonsense, but the people of Scotland don't, because they know the reality that our NHS is the best performing in the United Kingdom, and education standards under the SNP.
Phil, so MP candidates should be subject to CBS checks. Yes, and they should be subjected to the full force of the law if they break the fucking law. By going and...
Mr. Speaker, that's a good look to the people of Scotland, the disdain that the Tories show for our country. Mr. Speaker, I hope that the Prime Minister has time to reflect.
But you know, at least they've got a sex offender on their side.
New spare time, and I genuinely hope that he finds some peace of mind. The fact is, though, that as well as a record breaker, the Prime Minister is a rule breaker. Illegally shutting down Parliament, partying through the pandemic, handing out PPE contracts to cronies, unilaterally changing the ministerial code. And let us not forget, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister is still under investigation because he can't be trusted to tell the truth. Shameful, disgraceful, and a complete waste of Scotland's time. This is how the people of Scotland will remember this Prime Minister. Isn't it the case that the Prime Minister and his government should have had its last day a long time ago? Quite simply, Downing Street is no place for a lawbreaker.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think on the point...
Fuck off! Boris Johnson, you can't. Fuck off! Fuck off! Fuck off! Can't.
Which may be all too soon.
Russian shrill, Russian shrill.
He will reflect on his long-running campaign.
This little fucker is smirking. He loves it. Yeah, he loves the fucking anarchy that lies in his wake. He likes to drop a bomb and then just fucking walk away. That's what this cunt does. He's always done. He just leaves fucking destitution and wreckage in his fucking wake, this man. That's all he's ever done, all his fucking life. He helped his dad get his mum institutionalised when he was 9 years old. Fucking cunt. He's been a cunt since a child. He was a cunt child and now he was a cunt fucking teenager. Now he's a cunt fucking adult.
But what I also had
look at this fucking cunt. He's been taught to do this. Look, I've got this thing in my hand. I'm going to wave it about. We're taught to do this, you know. This is, look, he's doing this. It's just power. Keep doing this. Keep doing this. You don't look like a twat, Marco. Marco! Do you reckon people do that when he comes in? Marco! And someone shouts, Polo! Still doing it. Bam, bam, bam. Start doing this in a minute. Chop, chop, chop. Do you love it when they do that? Chop, chop, chop. They're taught to do that as well. Bum, bum, bum. Chop, chop, chop. Got any grapes?
There are more to come.
David, as the Prime Minister leaves office, I'm sure the whole House is looking forward to him
seeing the back of him.
His book on Shakespeare. We wait to read what he...
Hi Reagan. Yes, sorry I've not been on Discord recently. I really need to rectify that. I'm not going to be able to do it this week, but next week hopefully be able to kick it into gear. Again, let you know what I'm up to.
The candidates, Mr. Speaker, now plotting to take his place, all profess that they will bring a fresh start. A clean break from his government. But does the Prime Minister not agree with me that a fresh start and a clean break would require a new mandate from the British people?
Yes!
And before they strut and fret their hour upon the stage, there should be a general election.
Yes!
Mr. Speaker, I think that Polonius, that's who he is. What you need, more matter with less art, Mr. Speaker.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about, you insufferable cunt?
You need to know, if
you bolting hunch of beastliness. Fucking rotter. You slime ball.
That is the moment.
Fucking scumbag. Absolute monumental dead cert cunt.
And all these rural voters would discover the massive green taxes that they would like to apply. And the only risk is that there could be some kind of crackpot.
You're bringing the fucking house prices down. Fucking slovenly cunt.
To put that into effect, that is what we must.
Parliament is pathetic. If MPs can't call outliers and hold the government to account, then what's the point? Well, yes, exactly.
Feel very
I'm amazed that the building, the Palace of Westminster, survived yesterday. Look at Felicity. Bye, Felicity. Bye, Felicia.
The Met is in special measures.
God, she's got Karen written all over her face. How can she be Karen and Gammon at the same time?
And he is looking to push through a completely unwanted overdevelopment of South Kensington Tube Station.
How are you? Right, trying to help people who can't afford the fucking Chelsea tractors, or Kensington Companymobiles, as I like to call them. It's Company with a K.
Mr. Speaker, London once had a mayor who cut crime by 25% and cut the
the House of Lords,
by 30%.
This cunt's trying to fucking stack the House of Lords with his fucking cronies. One question after crying over receiving personal attacks from Blackford. Johnson engages in his own personal attacks. Yeah. What a pussy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
How do these fuckers resign with the government en masse because they want to work with Boris and the next breath keeping in the position two-faced pieces of shit? Because they're two-faced pieces of shit.
He's a Highland gentleman and he's been very, very helpful to me for a number of years and I'm extremely grateful.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister knows that harnessing willpower, wind power is crucial to the United Kingdom.
I was moving over to see if there's anything more there.
The Prime Minister also knows
that guy from Friends.
Highlands have faced great historic difficulties over the years. So I hope that the Prime Minister agrees with me that a green freeport in the Cromarty Firth is vital to harnessing wind energy. It has the full support of the industry and vital to the prosperity of that region.
I thank you very much. I can confirm that we're committed to funding two new green freeports in Scotland to the tune of £52 million. Wouldn't be possible, of course, if the SNP got their way and we returned to the EU.
Jay Barry.
What?
Thank you, Mr.
We had freeports when we were in the EU. We got rid of them because they don't fucking work. We had them up till 2011. Stop fucking lying. How can he fucking lie like that? All freeports do is take commerce, trade and industry away from one other section of the country and put it in another one.
All candidates in
Such bollocks.
election and all colleagues in this House to further
it's robbing Peter to pay Paul.
levelling up agenda to tackle inequality wherever it is found within this United Kingdom.
Fuck off. Fucking Darwin.
I heartily agree with my honourable friend, Mr. Speaker, and it's not just, my right honourable friend, it's not just inequality, it's inequality of opportunity, and that's what level addresses.
Well, that's quite interesting coming from someone who went to fucking Eton and is going to be replaced by someone who went to Winchester by the looks of things.
Believe that the levelling up agenda has achieved anything at all. Now, the Prime Minister has a few days left in office.
Freeports are even more abolished than not in the EU. Yeah, Pineapple Boy.
The Trans-Pennine rail system that we were promised would be finished in 2019 and will not be finished before 2030. It's a shambles and he is responsible.
Actually, Mr. Speaker, this government's responsible for 3 new high-speed lines, including Northern Powerhouse Rail, which no previous government has done.
What shite are you talking? You've done fuck all. You've sacked off Northern Powerhouse Rail and you've sacked off the HS2 extension that was supposed to go up to Leeds. Fucking liar.
Will my right honourable friend take action to make sure more fires can be prevented by getting rid of disposable barbecues and Chinese skylanterns?
Agent Smith.
The ones that flow.
Actually, have you seen Priscilla Queen of the Desert?
I think the key thing is for people to be able to first with the use of these things. It's clearly insane to take a disposable barbecue onto dry grass.
God.
Dr. Philippa Whitford.
What?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Due to Scottish Government investment in affordable housing, the Scottish child payment and extended free school meals, Scotland has the lowest level of child poverty in the UK.
The government did its job, there'll be no need for levelling up.
Yes. Has risen by 50% on the watch of this government.
But they've been asleep at the wheel for the last 12 years, too busy obsessing over the EU and bickering amongst themselves.
And those fighting to replace him have been falling over themselves to promise tax cuts to the wealthy. Yeah. So if UK is meant to be a voluntary union, does he not recognise that voters in Scotland have the right to a referendum so they can choose a fairer future?
No, he's not going to agree to having a referendum. He's already ruled that out.
We increased the living wage across the whole of the UK by £1,000. We made sure that people on universal credit...
but inflation's at 9%, you mad bastard.
And we've, in the last couple of weeks, we've cut...
Educate people into not being moronic. Is that not an option?
£330. And it was because of the union that we were able to support families up and down the country.
Freeports have the syllable free in them. They're logically magic bullets. Yeah, Adrian, you're right. Fucking lying sack of shit.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, can I thank my right honourable friend for his commitment to Scotland and the entire United Kingdom?
To Scottish independence, you mean? I'd like to thank the right honourable gentleman for his commitment to breaking up the union
and involvement of the UK government in Scotland over the past 3 years. And does my right honourable friend agree with me that whoever takes his job and whatever comes next, the United Kingdom will always be stronger together than it ever would be apart?
What?
Oh, brilliantly put.
Fucking bull chortling bell ends. Fuck off.
Mr. Speaker, the Windrush compensation scheme was launched in April 2019. In the time since, we've seen this Prime Minister come and go. Meanwhile, just 1 in 4 applicants have received compensation so far, and at least 28 have sadly passed away without receiving compensation. Isn't it about time for the government to make the scheme independent of the Home Office and finally provide justice to the victims before it is too late?
Mad
actually, Mr. Speaker, I think more people have got compensation under.
Devil woman.
I renew my apologies to the Windrush generation for what they've suffered. But we have greatly increased the compensation.
Fuck off, Johnson.
We've paid out
£51
million. We're working with voluntary groups
chop your head off.
to ensure that people get
shove it up your arse.
Entitled to. But I may say that Labour has never apologised for their own part in the Windrush scandal.
What?
Speaker, can I thank my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, for all of the work he has done for Scunthorpe, but can I pay particular thanks to him for the work that he has done for steel?
The climate crisis and other crises, yes, they're still fighting each other.
To this nation. He has kept every promise he has made to me on steel.
There's too many letters in the word Scunthorpe after a name, innit? Conservative cunt, that's what I should say. Fuck off, cranky! Fuck off, you little choir boy. Go on, fuck off.
Thank her for everything that she has done to champion UK steel, a vital national industry.
What would J.K. Rowling have to say about this?
Mr. Speaker, this Prime Minister has been the very embodiment of the excess and the vice that the Ministerial Code was designed to protect. And once trust is broken, it's very hard to rebuild. The trust of the Good Friday Agreement between the peoples and between the governments of these islands has been systematically destroyed over the last 6 years, and people across the island of Ireland, whether unionist or nationalist have looked on in horror at the degradation of the rule of law,
Tim Burton
the
this morning.
deterioration of Anglo-Irish relationships, and
I'm sorry, I'm being such a bitch today.
Many of us will work
commenting on everyone's
restore those
appearance
relationships and ensure the decent people of Britain and Ireland live entwined lives for many years to come. Can I ask the Prime Minister if he is capable of any self-reflection? Does he have any regrets of his legacy of damaging our fragile, shared society and all the people of Northern Ireland?
Good question, Claire.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I
don't think I agree with your
disagree
politics,
with that. The whole objective of the Northern Ireland Protocol Bill that we've passed is to support the Belfast Good Friday.
Stop scratching your arse, you dirty bastard.
The balance of those and symmetry of those.
Look at fucking Zahawi behind him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at his arse. Quite itchy. Would you like me to scratch it for you, sir?
Mr. Speaker, in recalling the situation the Prime Minister inherited in July 2019 of a Parliament with a majority determined to frustrate the result of the 2016 referendum.
The corrupt, anti-democratic referendum in which the fucking Russians interfered, millions was overspent, everyone fucking lied, and you're calling it democratic, are you, you mad bastard? Fuck off, Crispin. You've never lived in the fucking real world. You've never had to look for fucking 20p down the back of the couch to put in the fucking electricity meter to keep warm. You're a cunt, you are. Go on, fucking just dig yourself a fucking pit, jump inside it and never get out. No, Dig yourself a pit, fill it with snakes, jump inside it. Cunt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since 2014, the Tory party have had more Prime Ministers than we've had referendums. May I remind the PM of the Smith Commission report? It states it is agreed by all parties that nothing in this report prevents Scotland becoming an independent country. Therefore, does the Prime Minister believe in a democracy, and will he respect the people of Scotland's right to self-determination?
Mr. Speaker, I think that the people of Scotland do not, frankly, want to be talking about constitutional issues when another referendum, when the issues before the country are the cost of living, the educational issues that we discussed, drugs, crime, Mr. Speaker. I think they're far more pressing.
Mark Francois.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Prime Minister spoke earlier about the atrocities carried out by the IRA. For decades, many men and women had the courage to put on the Queen's uniform and uphold law and order in Northern Ireland on Operation Banner. One of the Prime Minister's undoubted achievements is he brought in the Northern Ireland Legacy Bill so that those people who serve their country can finally sleep safely text message in their beds.
Oh my God, this fucking cunt! What's he doing in Parliament? Piss off, cunt!
If I may be so
No, stick your head in a fucking blender, you absolute bag of shite. Go on, sit down. Oh, hang on. No, he was sitting down. He didn't even stand up. Oh, he did stand up. Oh, okay. Sorry, didn't realise. Fucking hobbit. Fucking evil hobbit. Fucking Smeagol of hobbits.
But to their families as well. And I would like to renew my thanks to the security services who do so much to keep us safe.
Kristen Blunt who still defends a sex-offending Tory MP even after being sent to jail. Well, that's what they like, innit?
Mr. Speaker, Prime Minister, the OECD forecast the UK economy with zero growth in GDP for 2023. That would be the worst performance in the G7. Ireland, Switzerland, Norway, Denmark,
Jim Bobbitt goes,
Iceland,
they get one question and then people on the other side get one question, but you've got all the different parties on the other side, so that's why it doesn't look like Labour's getting many questions.
To seek prosperity through being a sovereign, independent nation.
Fabricant's hair is a fucking wig.
Amongst other equal nations.
It's a fucking syrup.
Mr. Speaker, the UK was the fastest in the G7 last year. Will return to the top of the table soon.
Soon!
We came out of COVID. Fastest, 0.5% growth in May, Mr. Speaker. And the people of Scotland,
0.5% growth
like the people of the whole of the
in
UK,
1 month.
are supported
From
by
zero.
the massive fiscal firepower
Up from zero.
of the UK.
It was zero. It was flatlining.
A great advantage.
It was flatlining. We're heading towards a recession.
Speaker,
heading towards depression with these fucking cunts in charge.
The firefighters of Cornwall,
God knows I'm
who were
depressed.
also extremely busy and courageous yesterday. Can I thank this Prime Minister for his support and enthusiasm for Cornwall and for
what,
the people
freezing
of Cornwall
cows?
over the last few years?
Sorry, I'm being such a bitch today. Oh my
G7
God, that dress!
Can I also thank you for the investment?
Why would you wear that dress? Being a less than svelte woman. Why would you wear that dress? Did no one stop her? Did no one say?
£3 a head. And does my right
maybe don't wear that dress.
That his enthusiasm for levelling up every part of the United Kingdom
I
needs to carry on.
I love you, Damien. I mean,
she's a fantastic champion, my friend. Fantastic champion for Cornwall, and we will continue with our programme to...
you continue with your programme of being a cunt. Yeah, canty.
Future with her as a representative.
Fucking arse.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. While the Prime Minister has been on the Randan and Chequers, people in Scotland are suffering because of this Tory cost of living crisis, and we're paying a high price for his disastrous hard Brexit imposed against the wishes of Scottish voters. It's time to end this democracy.
Someone's been going nuts at this paragraph.
Scotland can't afford to stay shackled to this
The
crumbling
SNP smelled
union
blood in
and
the
Tory
water.
governments that
Absolutely.
we don't vote for. Does the Prime Minister not accept that Scotland is a democracy? He has no right to overrule the votes of people in Scotland, and we will have the referendum that we voted for.
The 5% growth, the 0.5% growth is due to warm weather.
The country that secured
promoting conservative cludge cream from Cornwall.
Of the UK, while the SNP gets on with overtaxing to the tune of £9
Fuck off,
million.
gobshite. Fuck it, fuck. Fuck off, you cunts. Oh, how long have we got left of this fucking show? We've got 3 minutes left. And then Boris Johnson's gonna fuck off forever. This should be the last time we see him stand up in British Parliament. Hopefully, because hopefully over the summer, once he stops being Prime Minister and leader of the Conservative Party, he'll stop being an MP. Hopefully he'll stop fucking breathing, but you know, I know that might be too much to hope for. Look at this cunt. The fuck? You haven't got any concern? You don't give a shit about anything but yourself? You just fucking line in your own pockets? See that handkerchief in his pocket? It's actually a £50 note. That's what it is. Just dipped it in fucking lilac.
On the industry.
Minister. I'll make sure he gets a meeting as soon as possible with the relevant minister, but I think it is very important that we encourage our great fish and chips shops in Grimsby, Cleethorpes and elsewhere to make sure they're not just using Russian fish and chips.
John Littleson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the Prime Minister...
Why has no one mentioned the fact that yesterday London was on fire? Why has no one mentioned it? Did I miss it? Was I talking over it? London was on fire yesterday.
Honours list. How many of his cronies will he ennoble? Can we expect him to surpass Harold Wilson with a lavender list of dodgy donors, obsequious courtiers and pinchers by nature?
Very poor. Mr. Speaker, I'm sure that everybody who has served this government loyally and well deserves recognition of some kind. But as for the honours list, I'm afraid he'll have to contain his excitement.
Can I just say, we wanted good temper and better
Russian fish and chips.
Well,
we don't get our fish and chips from the EU anymore because the EU's evil, so we started getting it from Russia, I suppose. I don't know. Turns out Russia's evil.
For his support for the new city of Southend.
Oh, fuck off.
Our brilliant hospital turns 90 next Tuesday.
90? You're going to get a new one? I don't think you're going to get a new one.
You're looking for a new one? Are you
going to get a new one?
Conservative-led capital funding.
I'm going to talk like this forever because I'm allowed to talk in Parliament and I'm very excited about it.
The Prime Minister's got the message also.
Hey, you over enthusiastic nutter. Fucking hell, where are your pom-poms, you pathetic little fucking cheerleader? Boris, I love you. Where are your 40 fucking hospitals, eh, mate? Shoved up your fucking arse, as always.
The Prime Minister will be remembered as a man of his word. Pile 'em high, 200,000 dead, the highest in Europe. Business.
F business. Fuck business, I can say it. I'm not in Parliament. They don't like it up them. Say they don't like it up them. Go on.
Listen to the truth. 400,000 fewer people in jobs than before the pandemic, if you include the self-employed, which the Prime Minister doesn't. So will he now keep faith to the 3.7 million people who've taken out student loans since this Conservative government was in power, who now face rising inflation in terms of rent, in terms of heating, in terms of eating, who now must pay
Fucking let him speak. Stop shouting. Oi, Lindsay, get him to shut up.
Sit down a minute. Just when I stand, it's easy if you sit down. It helps all of the chairs. I want to send the question. I know he's coming right to the end now. Go around, Davis.
The 3.7 million people who face 7% interest rates from September.
This is why I should be in Parliament, because I can shout like a motherfucker.
When mortgages are 2%,
like
will he help those people in need, or will he help the city people who are making his friends making all this money out of the
a cunt!
Mr. Speaker, I'll tell you what students want.
I tell you what students want. They want you to dig a hole, fill it with snakes, and jump inside. That's what
they want to make sure also, Mr. Speaker, that they have a jobs market.
And their work universities.
With high wage,
what students want is to be told what to do by old people who didn't go to university and be criticised for being snowflakes and woke all the time, for giving a shit about the planet and the future generations who live on it.
Final question, Sir Edward Lee.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Mr. Gammon. They're going to Mr. Gammon. Look at this. Gammon made flesh. The Gammon speaks. the gammon wakes. On behalf of all gammon everywhere, I'd just like to burst a few blood vessels in my face in the direction of my Lord and Honourable Boris Johnson, who never told a lie, and I love him, I love him, I love him. I want to thank him for his insistence that I didn't have to spit. I just want to thank him for taking me roughly over the dispatch box every Thursday evening after work. Fuck off, you fucking gammony cunts. Go on, fuck yourself. Northern fucking towns. It's commitment. I love you, Boris. Pathetic, grovelling man. Imagine getting to his age and grovelling to another male younger than you and more useless than you. I love you. Don't leave me. That was hilarious. How pathetic. How fawning. How fucking pathetic. To fucking die. Fucking die. Fucking just give some words. Camera out of focus. Give him some words. Fuck off. Stick it up your ass. Stick it up your ass, you fat cunt. Go on, you fucking dolt. You fucking meat for worms. Fucking lump of foul deformity.
The M25 or the Channel Tunnel.
You didn't do that! You didn't do that! You didn't do anything! You built some imaginary bridges and killed 200,000 people, you twat!
Remember, above all, it's not Twitter that counts.
It's not Twitter that counts.
And yes,
You must have seen my message to him yesterday. I think I called him a flob.
And it's true that I helped to get the biggest Tory majority for 14
No, I think Jeremy Corbyn facilitated that little situation, you twat.
Democracy and restored our national independence, as my right honourable friend says. I've helped to get this country through a pandemic and help save another country from barbarism. And frankly, that's enough to be going on with. Mission largely accomplished. I want to thank you.
Where's your 40 new hospitals, mate? Where's your 40 new hospitals? Fucking die. Fucking die, you cunt. You fucking horrible man. Can't wait to never see you again. And never see you again. You fucking twat. You fucking Terminator of 200,000 people. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck... Hey, hang on. They're clapping in Parliament. They're clapping in Parliament. Excuse me. Mr. Speaker, they're clapping in Parliament. This should be stopped immediately. Get him out. Get him out. Get that rat out of the room. Get him the fuck out of the room. The fucking gobshite. Fucking arsehole. Fucking bag of mountain. The mountain of mad flesh.
Looking for Mr. Malthouse.
I'm not looking for Mr. Malthouse. Because Mr. Malthouse is a cunt. I know he's a cunt because he looks like a cunt. That's how you can tell if someone's a cunt. Right, thank you very much. Thank you for indulging me. I'm sorry, I was a little bit critical over people's appearance in that, which I feel bad about. But, you know, in the heat of the moment, when you just presented with someone who's just come to work dressed as a Frisian cow, you kind of just, you got to worry about, like, well, what were they thinking? What were they thinking? Anyway, I've made myself big. I normally do that by a nice little transition, but I thought you could watch me scale up in real time. That'd be quite fun. The Speaker is clapping. Speaker's got the fucking clap. He's useless, isn't he? He's the Labour guy as well. The last guy was a Tory guy, who turned out to be a bit of a wrong one, actually. Yeah, this guy, who was actually good, taking down the government and holding people to account. This guy's like, will you please can you please calm down a little bit? Can you calm down? And I'm like, he's always talking to the right. He's always talking to his right, which is the Tory party. It's always that lot that he's telling to calm down. It's never the left. All he does to the left of him, is he goes, oh, can you leave the house, please? Can you leave the chamber? Because you called a liar a known, proven liar. You've called him a liar, so you got to go. You got to get out. I mean, what the fuck? I don't know. Did Labour clap? I didn't see that, but if they did, I don't know why they fucking clapped. I wouldn't. I didn't. I suppose I wanted to clap to say, thank fuck he's gone. You know, in the same way, you know, like clapping at a funeral when at a cremation, when the coffin goes down, you're like, yeah! Oh, he's dead, yes! And then everyone turns around and looks at you and goes, oh, that's really inappropriate, Graham. And you're like, oh, sorry. Anyway, right, moving swiftly on. Go on, fuck off. I hope Duke's not talking to me. I don't think he is. Does he believe his own bull? Yes, he does. Pathological liars, and I have experience of pathological liars, they go through a long process of convincing themselves of their own bullshit before they inflict it on other people. That's what they do. Mission accomplished. I trust this country to satisfy my own insatiable burning ambition. Well done, me. Yep. The worst performing economy of all advanced economies in the world. You can just say that, because otherwise you have to say, oh, the G7 or the G20 without Russia. No, take Russia out of the equation, because they don't have an advanced economy. They have a developing economy. They don't have an advanced economy according to the International Monetary Fund. The countries that have, there's 39 of them, and 30 of them are in Europe. The other 8 of them, the population of those countries put together is 50 million less than the population of America, who have just told us that they do not want a trade deal with us now or any time in the immediate future. And you got people standing up and saying, but we're trading with Russia, we're buying fish and chips from Russia. Yeah. Well, you told us we couldn't buy them from the EU because the EU were evil and they were doing nasty things, nudge things. I mean, fucking hell. Do you know what? If you were proper schizophrenic, and I'm not being dissing mental health problems, I'm talking about people who actually have schizophrenia, the worst thing you could possibly do is read the Daily Mail. Because yesterday, the front cover of the Daily Mail said, oh, snowflakes on a hot day. Oh, snowflakes. And today, same newspaper, front page, horror, fucking nightmare, fire, heat, hell. Same newspaper. Same fucking newspaper. I mean, what do people who read it must think? I mean, it's just... Well, obviously they don't. But it gets a massive circulation. It's the best-selling newspaper in the UK. The Mail Online is the best, most read news service website in the world. Most read in the world. And it's not acceptable to be... It's not accepted as you know, a reference for Wikipedia. So if you try and type in something about someone famous or an event or whatever, you can't use an article from the Daily Mail or the Mail Online website to you know, cite your case. Because it's bullshit. It's like such fucking bullshit. And yet the Daily Mail, the Star, the Sun, the Express, the Times, the fucking... the one that I missed out. They are all the Mail. They are all in it together to try and keep these fucking gobshites in power. These rich, privileged little shites in power, because these rich, privileged little shites, they look after their own. You know, like people used to make excuses for the craze, which was brilliantly taken down by Monty Python when they did the whole Dinsdale thing. But you know, when they used to do when people say, oh, they only killed their own. They only killed their own. That's the way, you know, they looked after them. They only killed them. They looked after them. It didn't make much sense. People defend Pablo Escobar for the same thing. Oh, he looked after his own. He looked after it. No, he fucking didn't. He knew, he was smart enough to know that if he gave a few sops to the local community, that they would protect him when the police came to arrest him for being the world's biggest drug dealer. And actually, at the time, the richest man in the world. No, you're wrong on this. They don't check if it's true. They say whatever they think. It helps them in the short term. Maybe, yeah. Same in the Express too, folks. Indeed. Didn't see any Labour MPs clap. There were a few MPs on the opposition benches. Could be DUP or ex-Tories. I think so. I didn't see Labour clap. The UK is free to make trade agreements with anyone in the world in the same way that a divorced alcoholic is free to date Beyonce. Yes, Phil. I've heard that one, and it's very true. I'm free, I'm divorced and free to do whatever I want, go wherever I want, with whoever I want to go with. But yeah, they have to go with you, they have to like you, they have to want to be with you. It's a two-way street, you know. Sovereignty! We got sovereignty! Yeah, sovereignty is having a referendum which is absolutely dominated by foreign dodgy money coming from a country that is our natural fucking enemy, Russia. The country that's been trying to undermine Western democracy since forever. This is nothing new. Maybe they were our allies in World War II, but Stalin was in charge at the time. And they were allies in World War I for a bit, and they fucked off. So, nah, I can't be arsed. This is too hard yakka. Interesting. With the brain of a goldfish comes the memory of goldfish to describe the readership of the Daily Mail. Indeed. Sovereignty. Sovereignty means doing what foreign non-doms tell me to do. Sovereignty. Yeah, great. Well done. Daily Mail once published Mick Jagger's 14-year-old daughter in a bikini. Very noncy. Well, yes, it did. I think it was the Mail, or maybe it was the Express, that were freaking out about the Brass Eye paedophile special back in 1999 or 2000 when it came out. And no fucking hint of irony. On the page fold, so you opened it up and there was this article on one side saying, you know, it's disgraceful and making fun of paedophilia, which they weren't. They were making fun of the tabloid-generated hysteria about paedophilia and the sensationalisation of it. They were absolutely taking the piss out of that, and celebrities willing to jump onto any bandwagon going through town because they feel like they're speaking nonsense. And on the same page, right? They had an article about the then, I think, 15-year-old Charlotte Church and how big her breasts were. An article about the size of a 15-year-old girl's breasts. There you go, that's the Daily Mail for you. Or was it the Express? Someone look it up. Damn the EU, the biggest trading union in the world, the highest standard of living and legality. Richest countries in the world. No wonder they forced the UK out. Oh, wait. Yeah. You need to play PMQs in reverse, listen to Johnson answer, and then try and work out what the question was. Yeah. Duke Vengeance, that'd be a great parlour game, wouldn't it? Although he gives the same answer to everything. He goes, shut up, I'm great. Effectively. I will not forgive them. I will go to hell, cursing their names for what they had done to the UK. They should be met with the punishment of intense suffering. They can go right ahead and die. That's from Duke Vengeance. Vengeance by name, vengeance by nature. And we've got Ches74 saying the craze made shed loads of money from having their image on t-shirts. Charlie was running what was probably the most successful business and legit too. David says, you're funny, Graham. Love you. Thanks very much, David. We've got Jim Bob saying, yes, you're correct. They switched camera and I thought the Labour benches were clapping, but they in fact Tory. Labour didn't clap and walked out quickly. That's a clap for Labour. Has anyone seen Johnson's resignation letter? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark from RC. No. But I do think it's highly unlikely that when the Tories go through all this bullshit about, you know, getting a new leader and everything, that I do find it unlikely. I'm not saying it's out of the question, but I find it unlikely that Boris Johnson's going to go, actually, no, I'm going to stay. I found this obscure common law rule from 1742, which says I can stay Prime Minister for as long as I like, because I went to Eton. Perhaps you could invent a BJ board game for Christmas. I'd rather not. I hate his fucking face. The best thing about Trump's demise, although that, like this, was long and torturous, and you couldn't just sort of celebrate the fact that he'd gone straight away. You had to go through fucking months of hell before he did actually fuck off. But one of the nice things about Trump not being in power anymore in the States is that we don't have to see his cunt ugly face every fucking day. Every day you go on Twitter, you go on Facebook, you go on the news, BBC, Guardian, CNN. There's that fucking ugly cunt's face. And you know what? You might think that I'm a bit, I don't know, pretentious, whatever, for saying this, but like, generally speaking, people who aren't classically good looking, but are good people, their niceness shows through. It doesn't matter that, you know, they're not an oil painting, but they're a nice person. So that I don't know, it softens the edges, maybe. But when they're so fucking ugly, they hurt your eyes to look at them. And also they're fucking evil little cunts as well. It just stings my eyes. They're so ugly. They're just this like lump of mad flesh going blah, 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 blah. And it's horrible. You know what I think of when I think of like Boris Johnson or Trump? It's not Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars. It's Pizza the Hutt from Spaceballs. That's what I think of. It's just fucking horrible. It's just mounds of fucking cheese and fucking pepperoni and tomato sauce. It's just like, it's horrible. I hate having to look at Boris Johnson's face. I hate having to look at Trump's face. I hate having to look at like fucking, who's that horrible little twat from the DUP? She's horrible. Eileen Dover or whatever her name is. She's fucking horrible. And that little horrible little that other Northern Irish cunt, the one who Kate Huey. Oh my god, she looks like Zelda. She looks like fucking Zelda from the Terrorhawks, but sort of dislocated. She's just horrible. And then Claire Fox, she's minging on a fucking level that's just like, oh my god. I just don't want to see these ugly fuckers. I just don't want to see them. And I want to say, I have to deal, perhaps, with seeing these fuckers, in the news or whatever. It's probably why, given the choice, I'd rather watch something American on the telly or even something Australian, because they don't tend to put mingers on the telly. That's why people in Neighbours go on to like bigger and better things, whereas British soap opera actors. I'm sorry to... Oh God, I feel awful now. Right, I'm going to stop this train of thought, but I just look forward to hopefully never seeing Boris Johnson's ugly, fucking gobshite, eyes too close together, inbred, stupid, gormless, scruffy, cunt face ever again. Don't want to see it. Maybe in 50 years' time, when I'm in my 90s, I might see a picture of Boris Johnson and not recognise the cunt, and just be like, "Oh, I don't know that is." And then someone will say, "Oh, that's Boris Johnson." Oh, I remember that cunt. That's what I'll say. I'll remember that cunt. Because when you're 93, you can get away with saying anything to anyone, and people think it's charming, no matter how many times you drop the C-bomb. Right, I'm going to wrap up soon because it's past 1 o'clock and I've got things to do. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to read the last few comments that have come through. David, I don't fancy swimming with you today. I'm in Durham. It's a bit far from Spain. But thanks for the offer. Tory party bosses have asked the 1922 committee to add Johnson's name to the final ballot. I don't think they'll get away with that. Trump is still not in jail. Like how exactly? From Pineapple Boy, because the systems of state are not set up to defend the criminal. If that was a criminal trial instead of an impeachment trial, he would have got done. He would have been found guilty, but it was political, so everyone just focused along party lines, pretty much. For the Tory voters are like gremlins with the ballot slip. I literally hate them. I can no longer be friends with people who vote for this, says Roger King. I think I sacked off most of my Tory friends in 2016. Can still enjoy Mark Francois and Fabricant's faces. Can still enjoy. No, Fabricant, he's so ugly, and Mark Francois, he's so small and ugly. He's just like this horrible little, he's like the baddie from Troll, was it? He's like a troll. He is a troll. Like the American Major Cow, but without the personality. Well, Chess 74, I've actually got a picture of the cow from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, from the restaurant at the end of the universe. I've actually got a picture of Nick Ferrari's face superimposed on the cow, and it says Nick Ferrari, at 7 o'clock. Send them, go back where you came from, which he actually said. He actually said that to a person of colour. He actually said it to someone who was British. And he said, go back where you came from. Fucking hell, to their face. There's footage of it. What a horrible little twat. I'm not very attractive, I love you, Jane, but I have a good heart. Yeah, well, then you're attractive. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like if people are ugly on the inside, it comes out. Even Priti Patel, who just, by her own right, I mean, obviously she's shaped like a cylinder, but if you just looked at her face, you'll think, oh, well, she's fairly decent looking. But because of the bile that runs through her veins, she becomes like, I feel a bit sick when I see her. Do you know what I mean? It's like a sickly sweet smell. Do you know what I mean? It could be nice, but it's not. Something's fucked it up. Oh, it's a decomposing body. That's why. That's what she's like. She's like the smell of a decomposing body. Priti Patel. She's like, oh, just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Turns my fucking stomach over. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for putting up with all this shit that we've had to put up with for the last fucking hell, 6 fucking years of this. Jesus Christ, it's getting a bit much, isn't it? I will return probably next week with. I'm hoping to do some more Hughes the Worlds. I might do some more Hughes Hughes at 10s or Hughes rounds. We'll see. And I'll honestly, I keep meaning to get onto the Discord server. And honestly, I've got loads on at the moment, and I just don't really have. I'm working till like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then getting up at 6, and then working again. So I'm really pushed for getting stuff done. I've got like a whole checklist of things, and I'm still nowhere near on top of it. I could do with either pausing time so that nothing else happens and I can get on with the stuff, or making a duplicate of myself, like in that movie with Michael Keaton in called Multiplicity. So, you know, I can help myself out. But that'll probably be a bad idea because, you know, my clones might go crazy and I might have to slaughter them all, a la Rick from Rick and Morty. Okay, right. No surrender, says Think European. One day we will rejoin the EU. Of course we will, because it's just the natural gravity. As Radiohead sang, gravity always wins. And whether that's economic gravity, or whether it's actual fucking gravity, it always wins. It's the way it is. So I'm pretty buoyant. I think we're going to rejoin the EU at some point in my lifetime, I hope. And I'm going to be fighting for that. I'm going to continue to fight for that. And I'm not giving up. I'm not going to go, oh, well, you know, we voted for it. We didn't fucking vote for it. Knobheads were told to vote for it by foreign dictator fucking scum, like Vladimir Putin. Right up his fucking street. So thank you very much for the super chats. If you want to help out from month to month, if you head over to Patreon, patreon.com/thatgingerscouse, you can throw a few quid into the old Akuba each month to keep me going, keep me afloat, keep me in food. It's not enough to buy any Class A drugs, so you'll be pleased to know I tend to stay away from that kind of thing. But yeah, if you want to keep in touch and get over to the Discord server, you can do that if you are a patron of mine. So yes, resist and bite, says Duke Vengeance, indeed, and hopefully I'll see you next week. And until then, thank you so much for watching. You're amazing and awesome. And I can't get out of the full screen. Oh, there you go. And brilliantly enough, I found my Patreon screen. So I'm going to say thank you for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.